because if you see, I am very particular. If you give me one paragraph of review, I will not even look at it. If you give me one page, no. Minimum 5 to 10 pages review should be given. That means you have to read very thoroughly the book and compare it with available literature, and then, as I keep on saying, you have taken this course, now you have to go through that. Otherwise, there is stage time before first interval, please go to the other side, adjacent room. Can go there. One of the important quality of, if you want to clear this course, there are two important criteria I will have. One, you should read all these things very thoroughly. Then any time when you are going there anywhere, I will do this from next week. First of all, I should remember all your faces. And what will I do is, suddenly when we are going here there, I will just tap and ask you, tell me what are the 4 freedoms. Like I should tell. Anything. So, now what are the 4 freedoms in freedom? So you should tell. If you don't tell them, they are only free. Some kind of alert test should be given. Alert test. One is that any time I ask you have to tell me that what are those 4 freedoms. Second criteria should be what? You should, very simple. You should know how to play the game of life. That's nothing.
What's the actual game?
If you don't know that, sorry. Anybody who doesn't know how to play the game and know at least 10 patterns in life, for example, some simple things like oscillator and laser gun and things like that, should not be qualified to write this text. They should not say that I know what is free or so. They are not qualified. I was tempted that our guys are doing some hacking course or whatever. I was very much tempted to just go into the room and ask that guy who is talking there, do you know what is life? And he said, no. When he said, come, you are not supposed to say this and that. Because hacker term should not be used very loosely, as in you tell people how to change some JavaScript in Windows and say this is hacking. You are actually giving wrong ideas to kids. I hope that's what is happening there. It should not have happened anyway. Anyway, why I am telling all this is because there are certain mandatory readings which you should do. One of the mandatory reading material is Cathedral and Bazaar by Eric Raymond. You should read it at least some 10-15 times to understand it clearly. Because whatever I said just now is there in Eric Raymond's Cathedral and Bazaar, if you have read. He says, what is the first thing he says? First lesson to be learned by the experience. He has given some 18, 19 lessons, 19 to be very precise. Lessons which he draws in that Cathedral and Bazaar. The very first lesson is, you don't know the first lesson. You are supposed to know all this by now. Unit 1 is over, we have already started Unit 1. These are all parts of Unit 1. The first lesson was, according to Eric Raymond, every software project starts because a developer wants to satisfy his own personal itch. Meaning, a software development starts in falls mainly because somebody wants something. That is what drives him. See throughout in our history, why people started doing something because they wanted and they loved doing it. RMS started because of printer episode. Torvald started because he wanted to port Unix into that particular machine. So there was an individual need and people loved doing coding, and that is why they get involved. That means people who are not interested in coding and who do not believe in the principles of free and open source software are not welcome here. They need not come. That is what I infer. Because people get unnecessarily worried. I have seen this many times. People have two questions about FOSS. One is, there are very few people. This is one problem always. There are very few people doing FOSS. Okay, what is the problem? Because we are not running a show here which requires so many people to come and attend and Second, people are unnecessarily worried about the quality of FOSS. Whether FOSS products are of better quality than proprietary products. I answer this question strongly like this. That see, for a true believer, quality is the last concern. People who use FOSS because it is of a better quality will stop using FOSS if they get a proprietary product of better quality. So we don't want. Only people who strongly believe in the principles of FOSS and are inherently interested in doing the work are welcome. So Lakhani and Wolf's research, the first finding was precisely this, and we should take it in a very positive way. That the major motivation for people to come and contribute to FOSS are intrinsic motivations of enjoying the work and belief in the principles of FOSS. Now the second group of motivation, extrinsic motivation, they identified two factors. One was the need for people to develop a software for their own need. That's external push because it's not available. Second extrinsic motivation, best kept secret in the FOSS community, paid volunteers. This is the best kept secret, you don't tell it everywhere. Who contributes to FOSS today, if you see? And you can do this experiment if you have a GNU Linux at your home. Every component in GNU Linux, you can actually see who has developed it. Every application, you can go by about and there will be one dialog box which will say who has developed it. Just go and see who has developed the different visible components. Just see. You will be surprised to find so many company email IDs there. That means many companies are actually involved in the development of FOSS. This needs certain clarification. How does this happen? How can companies come and contribute? Isn't it driven completely by volunteers? Yes, it is driven by volunteers, but certain companies have understood that it is for their own good that they have to contribute to FOSS. For example, hardware manufacturers. Who will write the device driver for their products? It will be better if they develop it. And because they have a stake in the way the system works, I'm speaking about the core of operating system, the kernel. They get involved in that. Few companies have come up with a strategy of encouraging their employees to contribute to FOSS. Main example, Google. Google has this policy of allowing its employees to spend around 20-25% of their work time on any interesting projects. And Google has benefited a lot by this initiative. For example, Google News, one of their popular services, was thanks to such a development by one of their employees. So this works for mutual benefit. Companies are involved, but not at the cost of compromising on the principles. And there is significant number of important contributions coming from corporate entities. There are significant. I can say around 30-35% of the entire contribution comes from paid volunteers. But anyway, I don't think that's a problem because the licensing terms and other things have not been compromised, so that's okay. So Lakhani Wolf's major research outcomes are these four. Why people contribute to FOSS? 1, 2, 3, 4. People contribute to FOSS because they enjoy, they believe in the principles, they want to develop a software for their own need, and 4, they are paid to do the job. That's all. The numbers, the other things you can spend. Rishabh Iyer Course research. I should tell a few things about Rishabh